My people, what is good with you guys? Thank you for tapping in. 100 years of wealth to you and yours. I hope all is well. I hope your day is starting off well or your night is going well. Wherever you're seeing this video at whatever time, I appreciate you and thanks for tapping in. So today we're going to dive into a few topics that are fresh on the minds of the NBA or in the realm of the NBA. And I want you guys to chime in, let me know what you think, give me your opinion, and we're going to figure this out. But also, as you can see, I'm reporting from a little bit of a different space. Usually when I'm in the basement studio area, I am facing a different way. I got a couch over there. I got a big wall that's all textured and I use lights and etc. But I kind of like this depth that this provides. And the crazy thing is it low-key looks like a green screen, but it's not. So watch. Not a green screen, okay? But once again, thanks for tapping in. 100 years of wealth, 100 years of wealth. And just so anybody that's wondering what's 100 years of wealth, is it all about money? No, it's not. It's 100 years of wealth is health, happiness, family first and foremost. And on this earth, of course, we need resources, but the wealth is really the perspective of all those things that are good, wholesome, loving, real things that we can feel and that really drive us. And of course, we need funds and resources to really to maintain our lives and things like that. So 100 years of wealth to you and yours, and I hope all is well. So let's go ahead and dive in, right? First question, as I grab a nice sip of this good coffee, are the Lakers a real championship threat? Remember, my perspective, I try to not be biased as an actual Laker fan here live in Los Angeles, where from my homestead, we could see Staples Center, crypto.com arena. But I try to keep it non-biased and not be swayed into wanting everything to work out the Lakers' way. So what I would say is that right now, per my notes, Lakers are 46-29 on the season, right? They're doing good. They're doing much better than they were doing last year. And I feel like they have two superstars, LeBron and Luka, that are playing well together. They've had little winning streaks here and there throughout the season. And I think overall they're a good team. And to push themselves up into the fourth seed and kind of maintain that and, kind of teeter on going up, I think that's a great thing for them. But the reality of it is that when you have other teams in the Western Conference like Denver, like the Denver Nuggets, like OKC, those teams have been consistently playing at a higher level than the Lakers. So you'd have to ask yourself, that doesn't necessarily mean that in a playoff series, those teams would necessarily beat the Lakers. You'd have to kind of play the brackets game and see where the matchups are, look at what these teams have done against the Lakers during the season, and then kind of make your bet or weigh out what's likely to happen. Not to say that a fourth seed couldn't beat a one seed or a fourth seed couldn't beat a two seed. What I think is that as the season pushes forward, people are more more exhausted. There's more energy expended. The playoff push to get into the right seed, all those types of things are going to really affect all the players, not just older players, but all the players are going to start to feel that additional weight, that additional pull and fatigue from the entire season. And I think that really matters when you talk about similarly talented teams, right? So if throughout the season I've been playing at a higher level than you consistently, right? Like you may have had spurts and you may have overall done a good job, but if I've been playing more consistent at a higher level more consistently than you would have to ask yourself, okay, if this team clearly has shown to be a better team this year, and if something were to happen, like what sort of fluke would make that happen? And I don't want to say a fluke, but what would have to happen in order for a Lakers to be able to beat a Denver Nuggets in a 7-game series, or to be able to beat a OKC, much younger, faster team, or I would at least say they're superstars because of LeBron's age. They are a much younger, faster team with the MVP. Pretty sure he got on their team. So you'd have to ask yourself, what would change besides just the hope that, they have a strong run or that LeBron isn't fatigued, or certain things like that. And I would say, looking at things the way they are today, it would be hard for me to see the Lakers being able to beat one of these teams, at least the top two or three teams above them, in a 7 game series. Mainly not because of skill set, but mainly just because I think LeBron James will be a little fatigued. And I think that with the playoff intensity going up, it's going to be hard for them to rely on their other superstar to do. I think he'll get his job done, but I don't think he'll be able to fill in the blanks and go up higher, to kind of take on some of the weight that LeBron might not be able to push. Now, I might be wrong in that, right? Because LeBron's played good, he's played strong, and overall has been healthy up into this recent hamstring injury. So that's kind of what's playing in my mind a little bit, the hamstring injury, where it's like you come back off of that one after a few days rest, or maybe a week or so rest. Those things usually take a while to heal up, right? Like, to heal up all the way, you usually need a little bit more time off of that injury completely, or it'll kind of come back and bite you. And it's a real weird thing where you won't feel it sometimes while you're doing activity, but then afterwards that shit will feel super tight or be pulling on the back of you, right? Or on the back, like your hamstring area. So I would just say that if you're placing a bet, that would be your precaution, right? You would be concerned about the longevity. Not that LeBron's longevity has ever been in question. We know that. I'm talking about this playoff run, talking about potentially making a championship run. That would be my knock there, right? So I think the Lakers they could be, I don't want to say a Cinderella team, but they could be a underdog dark horse if they get on a nice run. If LeBron doesn't have to expend too much energy in, let's say, the first round of the playoffs to make it through. Now, if you got a battle during the first round of the playoffs and you're really going 6, 7 games, it's just going to really show up in the second round, where you're playing an even better team. And now, that traveling is starting to weigh on you, the back and forth games, things like that. So, of course, as a Laker fan, I'm rooting for them. I think that there is a shot for them to go pretty far into the playoffs. But as we've seen for the last, 4 or 5 seasons, they just haven't had enough. And that's with AD, right? Like, AD was performing at MVP levels before they let him go, or before they traded him, right? I don't know all the backstory, but even though it's kind of like an equal trade, I don't know. There's a little bit of me that questions how equal that trade was, and I kind of feel like AD is a once in a lifetime talent that's been proven, has a ring, still performing at a high level, can affect both sides of the ball almost equally, right? Like, for a while he was in question as defensive player of the year, and at the same time being potentially the MVP, right? So I would just say that you know, the Lakers have been there before with equivalent talent, if not better, and not gotten it done. And now you have someone that's older, very recent injury. Luka's kind of on and off, little injuries here and there. I would make the prediction that the Lakers are probably going to make an exit in the second round, probably get past the first round, maybe go 4-2 in the first round. Are the first rounds 7 games? You got someone comment. I think there's 7 games still. But if they, if LeBron doesn't show any signs of wear, if they can ease past the first round with some comfort, without struggling, without stressing, I think that they could make a further push. I still think it would be a stretch to see them actually win it all. All right. So